Hey everyone, are you ready for another deep dive? Today we're going to be looking at the SuperTuxKart 1.5 beta.
Oh yeah, this one's a big one.
It is, and we've got a lot to dig into here.
Absolutely.
We've got the official announcement, of course. We've got a very detailed changelog,
We
and
even have some early player reactions.
we do. We've got those to sort through. So if you're a fan of SuperTuxKart or just open source games in general,
This is a deep dive for you.
this is it. All right, well, let's get started with the basics. The beta was announced on October 30th, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And it's immediately apparent that this is not just a small patch.
No.
This is
It's a big update.
beta update.
Yeah, they've been working really hard on this one.
Yeah, they have. We're talking about changes to, well, everything. Networking, gameplay, general enhancements, graphics, the user interface.
Even in-race UI, tracks and modeling, and, of course,
Mobile-specific fixes.
always got to have those.
Always got to have those, especially for a game like SuperTuxKart.
Trying to reach as many people as possible.
Exactly.
And it's interesting because if you look at all these changes together, what they really point to is this idea of giving the player more control.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you see it everywhere, from performance and graphic settings to how you even choose your karts and tracks.
All right, well, I'm interested to unpack all of this, but let's start with something that I know has a lot of players excited.
Are you talking about the favorites system?
I am talking about the favorites system.
Yeah. Finally,
Lovely.
it only took, what, 15 years?
I think it's been a highly requested feature for a long time.
Oh, absolutely. And, I
I know I've wanted it.
who hasn't? I mean, we all have our favorite karts, tracks, and arenas, and scrolling through those lists can get old.
It can get old.
So, yeah, now you could just start your favorites and jump right into the action.
No more endless scrolling.
No more?
This is a game changer.
It really is. It really is.
All right, so favorite system, that's a big one. What else stands out to you? What else are players going to be excited about?
Well, there's a whole slew of graphics changes that should make a big difference.
Okay.
For example, they improved the frame rate limiter and added more options.
So that means
So that means smoother gameplay, more consistent frame rate, especially during those intense races.
no more choppy gameplay.
Hopefully not, unless your hardware is really struggling.
Unless your computer's from 1998.
Right. But even then, they've done some work on the shadows, too.
Oh, yeah, I did see that in the changelog. They, what was it called? Cascaded something?
Cascaded shadow
It's
mapping.
Cascaded shadow mapping.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful, I'm not going to lie.
But basically, it means you get much nicer shadows.
Nicer shadows, okay.
Instead of one big shadow covering the whole track, they use multiple, more detailed shadows.
Ah, I see.
So it makes a huge difference in how realistic those tracks look, especially when you're racing through forests or tunnels.
So like more realistic shadows.
Exactly.
Okay, I can dig it. There was something else too in the graphics category that I didn't quite understand. Space reflections.
Ah, yes, that's a bit more technical.
Yeah.
But the long and short of it is that puddles and shiny surfaces will look way better.
Ah.
The reflections got to be more accurate, more dynamic,
So more realism.
more realism. It's all about making the game look as good as it can.
Gotta have that visual flair.
You got to have it. And speaking of looking good, they also updated some character skins.
They did. New skins are always fun.
Always fun. They added 5 new variants for the cartoon theme and a new desert variant for the classic.
Ooh, nice.
And they actually improved the whole skin selection process.
Oh, how so?
So now they separate the base theme from the variant.
Makes sense.
So it's much easier to browse and customize your cart.
Streamlining the process.
Exactly. And, all these little details add up to a much better player experience.
For sure, for sure. Now, let's talk performance for a second.
Okay.
They added this thing called benchmark mode, right?
Yes. Benchmark mode. This is going to be great for anyone who wants to really tweak their settings.
Boost their settings, okay.
So you can run the benchmark, see how different graphic settings affect your performance.
Oh, so you can like test out different settings
Exactly.
and see what runs best on your machine.
Exactly. So no more guessing games.
No more guesswork.
You can find the perfect balance between visual fidelity and smooth gameplay.
That is useful. All right, so we've got graphics, we've got performance. What else did they mess with in this beta?
Oh, so much more. They overhauled the in-game UI, improved the audio levels for more immersion, and even tweaked the rescue bird's behavior in soccer mode.
The rescue bird. Wow, they really thought of everything?
They did, and for our mobile players out there,
Yes. Our mobile players?
they fixed that bug with the rescue button getting stuck on the screen.
Oh, yeah, I'd heard about that one. That was a bit annoying, I'm sure.
Bit annoying, yes.
So that's good that they fixed that. Okay, so they've touched up the graphics, the performance, the UI, the gameplay.
Oh, and don't forget the networking.
The networking, right, of course.
They made some improvements there, too.
Like what?
Well, they made track voting more balanced.
Okay.
And they fixed that issue where spectators could influence the track selection for active racers.
Oh, that was annoying.
Very annoying. So no more missed tracks because someone in the audience clicked the wrong button.
That's a relief. All right, so they've improved the graphics, the performance, the UI, the gameplay, the networking. They've added a bunch of cool new features.
It's shaping up to be a really great update.
It really is. And the best part is it's just the beta.
That's right, there's still time for even more improvements based on player feedback.
Speaking of player feedback, we do have some interesting comments and questions from the community to dive into.
Let's see what the players are saying.
Let's do it. So let's jump into some of these comments and questions that we've seen from the community.
Yeah, let's see what people are thinking.
People are always eager to know, first and foremost, release date.
Of course, when can we get our hands on this thing?
When's the full 1.5 coming out?
Right, and one commenter actually asked that specifically. They said, any indication as to when the full 1.5 release will be?
I guess we'll just have to stay tuned.
Keep our eyes peeled.
Keep our eyes peeled. In the meantime, we could enjoy the beta.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, there were some comments about platform availability.
Ah, yes.
A few players wondering if the final version will be on iOS and iPadOS.
Makes sense. A lot of people gaming on those platforms these days.
The big market, for sure.
And interestingly, another commenter mentioned that there's already a test flight version available.
Oh, really?
So for those using Apple devices, there might be a way to sneak a peek at 1.5 already.
That's pretty cool. All right, here's one that I thought was interesting. Someone asked about downloading modded characters and maps.
Ah, the modding community. Always active.
Always active, yeah. Seems like this person might be new to modding, though.
Yeah, maybe a bit intimidated. It could be a bit overwhelming at first.
It can be. It can be. So what would you say to someone who's, new to modding and wants to try it out in SuperTuxKart?
Well, luckily, SuperTuxKart makes it pretty easy. There's an add-ons menu in the main menu.
Oh, okay.
And there you'll find a whole treasure trove of community-created content.
Wow. So you can really transform the game with just a few clicks?
Pretty much, yeah. It's the beauty of open source, that community can really shape the game.
That's pretty amazing. Okay, this one made me chuckle a little bit.
Which one?
Someone asked about ray tracing in SuperTuxKart.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
A little ambitious, perhaps.
Maybe a bit. But hey, who knows? Maybe SuperTuxKart 2.0 will have ray tracing, right?
Maybe we can dream.
We can dream.
All right, back down to earth for a moment.
Back to reality.
There were a few comments about performance on mobile devices.
Oh, yeah, that's always a concern.
It is, it is. One player was specifically wondering how well the game would run on their particular phone.
And another commenter, who seems to know their stuff, suggested trying Vulkan for better optimization.
Vulkan, that's the graphics API, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I've heard that can help with performance, especially on mobile.
It can. It can. So good tip there from the community.
Always good to see players helping each other out.
Absolutely.
Okay, not all the comments were positive, of course.
Of course.
There was one from a player who experienced a crash in the beta.
Oh no, that's never good.
Never good. And to make matters worse, the forum URL they were directed to for reporting the crash was outdated.
Oof, double whammy.
Double whammy. Hopefully the developers will fix both of those issues soon.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, it's a beta. Gotta expect a few bumps along the road.
Part of the process.
Part of the process. All right, there was one comment that was a bit more technical.
Okay.
And I have to admit, I didn't quite understand it.
Let's hear it.
This person was asking about double precision for large maps in SuperTuxKart.
Double precision for large maps. That is an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of it.
It sounds like they might have some game development experience, maybe. But the funny thing is, SuperTuxKart doesn't really have large maps in the traditional sense.
Right, it's all about those, tight, twisty kart racing tracks.
Exactly.
So maybe this person is thinking about a potential future feature where you could have like these vast open world maps.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
It would be, but for now, it's just speculation.
Just speculation, yeah.
So, we've heard from the developers, we've seen what's in the changelog, and now we've heard from the players.
The community has spoken.
What do you think, listening out there in the audience? Are you excited about the 1.5 data? What features are you most looking forward to? Let us know.
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
But now I think it's time to shift gears a bit and talk about what this beta release tells us about the future of SuperTuxKart as a whole.
Ah, yes, the big picture.
The big picture. What do you think? Where is this project headed? It really is exciting to think about where this project might go from here.
It is. It is. I mean, just look at how far it's come already.
We've seen so many changes, so many improvements.
Yeah, and it's all thanks to the dedication of the developers and the passion of the community.
That's what I love about open source. It's a true collaborative effort.
It really is, and this beta release is a perfect example of that.
It is, it is. We've talked about all the new features, the performance improvements,
The community reactions, even some speculation about the future.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what's the biggest takeaway for you?
For me, it's that this beta really embodies the spirit of open source development.
How so?
It's all about collaboration, transparency,
Mm-hmm.
and a shared passion for creating something amazing.
Yeah, I see that.
The developers are so clearly invested in making SuperTuxKart the best it can be.
And they're listening to the community.
Exactly. They're actively engaging with the players, taking feedback, and making the game better.
It's really inspiring, you know.
It is.
In a world where everything's about big budgets and proprietary software,
Yeah,
it's so refreshing to see a project like this thriving.
absolutely. It's a reminder that passion and creativity can still make a huge impact.
For sure, for sure. And that's where you, the listener, come in.
Ah, yes, our wonderful listeners.
Your feedback is crucial to the success of open source projects.
It really is.
So if you're excited about what you've heard today,
Mhm.
we encourage you to download the 1.5 beta, give it a spin.
Try out those new features, see how it runs on your machine.
Exactly. And let the developers know what you think.
Your suggestion, your bug report, it could make a real difference.
It could be the spark that ignites the next great SuperTuxKart innovation.
Who knows?
And on that note,
Yeah.
I think it's time to bring this deep dive to a close.
It has been a journey.
It is, but a fun one, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
We've learned a lot about SuperTuxKart 1.5 beta.
We have.
And I think we're all excited to see what the future holds for this amazing project.
Couldn't agree more.
So until next time,
Keep those carts tuned
keep those racing spirits high.
and never stop exploring the world of open source gaming.
See you on the track.